afternoon. Welcome to TV3 Midday News, coming to you live from Adesawa here at Kanda. My name is Grace Hamwasare. Coming up in the top stories. Government plans to irrigate 500,000 hectares of cocoa farms this year. Ghana Police Service complete inquiry into sexual misconduct allegations against 8 peacekeepers in the Sudan. And this afternoon we ask, is the Electoral Commission prepared to conduct multiple referenda for election of DCEs and the creation of new regions? On the international front, a court in Cameroon convicts and jails 7 political activists to lengthy jail terms. Let's get the details now. And the government plans to irrigate 500,000 hectares of cocoa farms this year to significantly raise crop yield and promote all year-round cocoa purchases. The Ghana Cocoa Board says the pilot project would begin with 200,000 hectares in the country. A report by Benjamin Edu. The Executive Director of Cocoa Health and Extension at Cocoa Board, Dr. Emmanuel Opoku, says the irrigation of cocoa farms is part of efforts to increase the country's cocoa production levels. He says the ability of farmers to produce under good ecological conditions would enable Ghana make up for the shortfall in the world price of cocoa. He spoke at a cocoa farmers forum at Breman Isikuma in the Central Region.
This is a strategy to help farmers adapt to the changes in the weather pattern. Yeah, you know, the climate change is here with us. A lot of work is ongoing to try to restore the forest, to try to get water at the right times for the cocoa to bear fruits and to grow to maturity. If the beans are at the churel stage and the dry season setting, most of them, we lose most of them through wilting. And even if we don't lose them, the beans become smaller. But with irrigation, we will be able to overcome those challenges and farmers will gain better or more from cocoa. The
forum was organized by Agro-Ecom Ghana Limited to pay premium and reward cocoa farmers who produce certified cocoa beans. The company has over the years trained over 120,000 cocoa farmers in good agronomic practices to produce certified cocoa beans. General Manager of Agro-Ecom Ebenezer Mensah reiterated their commitment to improve on the livelihoods of cocoa farmers.
We train them, give them education and empowerment, and then when they sell their cocoa back to us, we also sell the beans outside the country, give it to the clients that we work with. And eventually the clients, after getting some funds or money or profit, they also repatriate part of the money back to us. And when we also get money, we also, together with the company, also try to sit down and do the calculations and distributions based on the volumes that we also bought from the farmers and then share for or distribute it to our dear farmers.
Country coordinator of Agro-Ecom, Muzamil Muhammadu, said the company is focused on making a change in Ghana.
Now we are going to work on 4 key areas: building the knowledge of the farmers, creating best technologies, creating a market for the work that the farmer does, and we are going to work on the access to the market.
Away from cocoa, the proposed election of metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives and the creation of new regions will require referenda supervised by the Electoral Commission. However, governance experts have cast doubt over the preparedness of the Commission to perform its obligations. Richard Bright Ado has the rest of the story.
In July 2017, the Electoral Commission was thrown into a state of turmoil when allegations were leveled against the EC chair, Charlotte Osei, and some deputies. The integrity and image of the Commission was thus thrown into disrepute following the Commissioner's feud From 2019 to 2021, the EC is likely to supervise when Ghana will hold 2 historic referendums that may lead to the creation of new regions and the election of metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives, MMDCEs. Indications are that the creation of new regions may happen this year. However, the referendum on the election of MMDCEs is expected to run alongside the District Assembly's election in 2019. As a 5-member committee established by the Chief Justice investigates EC chairperson and 2 deputies, there are concerns the EC may not be ready for any referendum.
The administration is working, but they need direction, they need advice. They need people who will roll out issues. Even the timetable for the referendum, couching of the referendum question and all of that requires leadership. Currently, the leadership, in my view, is very weak. So what we need to do is to fast-track the process of resolving the issues that EC is confronted with and reposition the organization in such a way that before we do the first referendum for the creation of the regions, they would be in a position to do that.
The Attorney General and Ministry of Justice is expected to prepare the bill leading to the holding of these referendums. The Center for Democratic Development, CDD, indicated the EC must be involved in all of these processes.
There are bills that need to be prepared, that need to be laid before Parliament. There's a lot of preparatory work that has to be done, some by the Ministry of Local Government, which is leading some of these processes. Of course, already they've given us a roadmap, an indication of where they are, what they are doing, and at what time they want to get to where. So some work is being done. The other issue is, where is the EC in all of these processes?
Last week, the minority leader in Parliament, Haruna Idrisu, demanded a full, detailed roadmap in the lead-up to the referendums.
Their IT infrastructure needs to be updated. They need to get the biodata improved and other logistics. They have to prepare ahead of time. So we would think that the Minister for Finance, this time with the Electoral Commission, must also give us an elaborate plan.
A source at the Electoral Commission, however, disclosed no documents pertaining to the conduct of the referendum has so far been referred to them.
Now, the Ghana Police Service says it has completed investigations into the alleged sexual misconduct against some of its peacekeeping personnel in South Sudan, but Director General of Police Intelligence and Professional Standards Bureau, COP Nathan Kofi Wachi, says the report can only be made public after it has been reconciled with that of the United Nations.
In February this year, the United Nations mission in South Sudan recalled a group of Ghanaian police peacekeepers from one of its protection camps over allegation of sexual misconduct. This is a clear breach of the UN and the UN Mission's Code of Conduct, which prohibits sexual relationships with vulnerable individuals, including all beneficiaries of assistance. The 46-member unit was recalled to the capital, Juba, from its civilian protection site in Wau, northwest of Juba. The United Nations mission then commenced investigations into the allegations. The police administration petitioned the United Nations mission in South Sudan to be allowed to also conduct parallel investigations into the allegations. It's been 3 months already, so how far has the police gone with its independent investigations?
The Inspector General of Police sent high-powered delegation to South Sudan. They completed their investigations, but the police is awaiting the investigation from UN, where they have to compare notes on the various investigations in order to have a complete and comprehensive report for you. After that is done, I know the Inspector General of Police will not hesitate to inform you of the results. But meanwhile, the policemen are still in South Sudan.
South Sudan won independence from Sudan in 2011, but descended into civil war in 2013 after President Salva Kiir fired his deputy Riek Machar. Tens of thousands of people have been killed, and a third of the population have fled their homes. The United Nations has 6 civilian protection sites across the country, housing some 204,501 people. UNMISS comprises of over 17,000 peacekeeping personnel, including 13,000 soldiers and 1,500 police officers.
Let's do a lot more on this story and speak with security analyst Adam Bruner, who joins me on Skype now. Good afternoon to you, sir. So now the Sudanese case, the police says it is done with its investigation, awaiting that of its officers. We haven't seen the reports, but should we believe the police can investigate its own officers on fair grounds?
Yes, once again, good afternoon, and good afternoon to your cherished viewers. Yes, I expect the police to be able to investigate itself. I mean, we have precedents where some of their own have been investigated, but sometimes we have had issues of conflict of interest where some might have done certain things that were not right, and the police investigated it sometimes not the way it should have gone, and these issues ended up in court, and the court ruled against the police's own findings. And so, but in this case, I'm expecting the police to be able to do its own fair investigations, because you are talking about the almighty United Nations, and so the police would have to, as much as possible, be as transparent as one would expect them to be, so that whatever report or whatever findings they picked up from Juba or from South Sudan, when the UN's own report is ready, when you compare them, the discrepancies would not be would be just marginal. But I'm expecting even the UN, as expected, would have to sit with the police when their own findings are out, because I don't think the UN would want to do anything that would jeopardize the image of our own police service, because we are talking about just a minute number, a small number of police officers who are serving in UN, and so this is not to, they don't have to do anything that will jeopardize, the image and the integrity of this country. And so I'm expecting the UN itself to consult our own police officers who went in there to do the investigation, the whole country, so that when they put out their findings, which people were found to have committed some crimes, they are punished, as individuals or as a group. Yeah.
So what will it mean for the image of the Ghana Police Service if the two reports have a lot of discrepancies?
Oh, by the moment, I think it will be, it's early days yet, because the report is ready. We don't have the full report. I'm privy to excerpts of it, but the truth is that it is not public. So I can't speak to the report, and so but there's no way. I think what the police is doing is right, in the sense that if they put their report out there quickly and the UN comes out to say your report is wrong, it would rather dent the image of the police. And so I'm expecting that at the end of the day, the UN agency that is investigating this, or the UN itself, and Ghana,
that was security analyst Adam Bruner speaking to us on the investigation. So Mr. Bruner is still on the line. Let us quickly wrap up on the discussion. Let's do some other stories now. We apologize for that technical hitch. You are still watching Midday Live on TV3. You can also watch us on DSTV channel 279. Let's do some other stories now. We are very interactive on our various social media platform. Mr. Bruner is back. We've lost him. We apologize for that technical hitch. Let's do some other stories now. This is still Midday Live on TV3. We are very interactive on our various social media platforms. Now, the Ghana Police Service is yet to identify a suspect who assaulted Joint News reporter Lateef Idrisu in April this year at the police CID headquarters. Lateef Idrisu was part of journalists who reported the arrest and detention of Deputy General Secretary of the Opposition National Democratic Congress, Kwaku Anidohum, following the alleged treasonable comments.
Director General of Police Intelligence and Professional Standards Bureau, COP Nathan Kofi Boache, reiterated challenges which have emerged in the course of investigations.
The journalist himself could not identify the people, even if we assembled them, and all those around could not identify the culprits. because it was dark and in an alley. So we are still trying to identify the policeman.
With the victim's inability to identify suspects abruptly end the case,
if the person assaulted cannot identify them, then it behoves us to use other means to identify the policeman, which we are earnestly doing. The assurance is that if through our CCTV and other things we are able to identify the policeman, then the law will take its course.
COP Kofi Boache provided update about progress of investigations into reported cases.
So for Latif, we are all concerned, we work with you, and we'll do everything possible to solve this particular problem in order to maintain the cordial relationship between we and the press. The Akuse one, the case is in court, and the Tumu one is still under investigation because, you know, it happened not long ago.
Let's just stay on security because a suspect in the April 30 robbery at Platinum Plume Gold Refinery Company Limited at Bogoso in the Western Region has died. The deceased, as Nathaniel Ibu, a Nigerian, fled in a car from a team of police officers after police TIFOP revealed his hideout at the Achimota bus terminal. At the Okponglo traffic light, the suspect vehicle collided with a Range Rover, after which he was apprehended by police. He died while being rushed to the police hospital for treatment. A handgun with 30 molds of ammunition was retrieved from the deceased. Meanwhile, the police have arrested one more suspect connected to the killing of a police officer on escort duty at Bogoso in the Western Region. Let's move away from security now because Executive Secretary of the National Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values, Moses Foamonin, is warning the coalition may compel Parliament to pass a law against the practice of homosexuality in Ghana. At a media consultative forum in Accra, he said the coalition will oppose any political party that does not make its position clear on the practice of homosexuality. A report by Godfred Tanam.
This group to condemn the attempts by the West to impose homosexuality on Ghana was the Parliament of Ghana, whose members said they will resist any move to legalize the practice. This came after the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Quay, indicated he will resign if any bill to legalize the practice is presented to Parliament. There have also been calls for the President to make a clear declaration on his position on the practice, since his comment that it is bound to happen did not go down well with many Ghanaians. Moses Foamonin at the Media Consultative Forum in Accra said the coalition will put pressure on political parties to make their position known.
To hold our leaders accountable. You can't come to power telling us that the battle is a lot. Then you come to power, you say it is bound to happen.
He said the coalition is going out strongly to get the anti-gay message down to every person on the street.
We know them, we know about them, but we were waiting for the right time. We will go at a pace, they will be shocked. If I saw them there, they don't know what is happening when they saw me there. I said, you wait and see. You will shock me, but you will shiver. They will pass the law before they themselves can say jack. They will pass it. It will be a certificate of agency. If they like, they shouldn't pass it, and they will see.
A member of the coalition, Reverend Dr. Justice Apia Kubi, on his part said the attempt by the West to impose homosexuality on Africa is a population control mechanism anticipating the threat of the African population on the world.
A population control strategy. If you can get 1 million men into gayism, that is 2 million men out of reproduction, correct? If you can get 1 million lesbians into lesbianism, that's 2 million women out of reproduction. So that is the strategy, and they are working tirelessly to push this thing down into this continent to try and arrest our population growth.
The Chief Executive Office of the Mental Health Authority, Dr. Kwesi Osei, debunked the scientific knowledge that homosexual tendencies are inborn.
There is absolutely no scientific basis. Yes, there is a biological basis for someone to be gays, but that is a biological basis for them to be abnormal with respect to their sexual orientation.
The National Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values is a combination of Christian and para-Christian bodies, Muslims, as well as like-minded religious and non-religious entities.
You're also watching Midday Live on TV3. We're back after this break with some more stories. Don't go away. Welcome back from the break. This is still Midday Live on TV3. We're also live on DSTV channel 279. Let's do some other stories now. And renowned economist Ishmael Yamsing has lauded government's management of the economy. He urged government to invest borrowed money into productive ventures to ensure value for money.
Ghana's total debt as at the end of 2017 stood at 142.5 billion cedis, but by the end of February this year, it has increased to 145 billion cedis, representing 60% of GDP. Domestic debt stood at 68.2 billion cedis, representing 47% of the total debt, whereas external debt stood at 76.8 billion cedis, representing 53% of total debt. Renowned business captain Ishmael Yamsing congratulated government for reprofiling its debt, but added that money borrowed should be applied to productive sectors of the economy.
The quantum of debt is not important to me. What is important to me is what we do with the debt, with the money that we borrow. If we borrow the money and we invest it in a way that gives us more value than the cost of the debt and the interest, it's good for everybody, isn't it? But if we borrow the money and we use it, we put it into consumption, then that can be a very disastrous situation, as we did in the past.
He tasked government to prioritize revenue mobilization.
I'm worried that quarter after quarter after quarter, we are falling behind on revenue generation. If we get that, we get to grips with that, then I think that we should be making faster progress.
He called for prudent economic management in an election year.
Every 4 years, we happily destroy our economy. We declare ourselves bankrupt. We run to the IMF. They come and discipline us. Then we behave ourselves very well. We stabilize the economy. Then the elections are coming, and then everybody becomes jittery. Indeed, I can tell you that one of the major issues facing this country is our politics. That's the major issue. Because we have made politics the cause of corruption and the cause of all the difficulties we have in this country.
So some other stories. The Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Robert Ahom-Kalin, has emphasized the need for local manufacturers to add value to the country's existing raw materials. Robert Ahom-Kalin was speaking at the second edition of the Ghana Manufacturing Awards ceremony held in Accra.
The Ghana Manufacturing Awards has been instituted to stimulate competition among manufacturers locally. The second edition of the awards recognized 31 individuals and companies which have excelled in their industry. Addressing the occasion, Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry Robert Ahom-Kalin called for more innovation to transform the country's available resources.
There is not much we can do in the future of this country if we don't make more things in Ghana. We need to make more. We need to manufacture. We need to add value. Because we're tired of just selling cocoa beans and gold. Frankly, it's not enough for us. There is no point us signing all these wonderful trade agreements to the rest of the world if we have nothing to trade with. So you, the manufacturers of this country, are the bedrock of what you make for us to trade with other people.
Robert Amkalinti also urged manufacturers to contribute their quota towards the sustainability of the nation's Builders Corps by offering training to graduates enrolled on the program. Other speakers encouraged employers to invest in ventures that provide security to workers' safety.
In spite of the huge benefits associated with investment into health, safety and environment and quality management, it is sad to say that both government and private sector are not investing enough in this area to reduce risk to the Ghanaian workforce. We must all commit ourselves to making our workplaces safe for our workers, because every life is precious.
The ceremony crowned Unilever Ghana Limited as the Manufacturing Company of the Year, Guinness Ghana Limited adjudged Brand of the Year, Local Content of the Year, and Beverage Manufacturing Company of the Year. The Bottling Company of the Year went to Coca-Cola. Casapreco won the Marketing Company of the Year and Export Manufacturing Company of the Year. Royal Crown Packaging Company Limited won the Best Growing Manufacturing Company of the Year, whilst Packaging Matrix was adjudged the Promising Manufacturing Company of the Year.
Elsewhere, people have won other awards. We say congratulations, but we love what we have won. We're the best manufacturers. We're the best in terms of showing responsibility to our society. We'll continue to do so. We'll come back next year. I believe we'll have more of these.
That's it for business. Let's go to the Ashanti region now, where the Asante Otumfuo Osei II has commended the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, NUST, for upgrading its infrastructure. The university is currently constructing 16,000 additional classroom facilities to meet the growing demand of students. The Asante, who doubles as the Chancellor for Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, NUST, toured some ongoing project sites at the university to assess the level of progress. The internally generated, funded and World Bank projects are being implemented to facilitate academic work. Otumfuo Osei II inspected a 4-story water and sanitation center, a 5-story social sciences building complex, and a postgraduate business school building, all at the business school. He also toured a 6-story lecture halls and offices for the College of Arts and Built Environment. The Asante again inspected a 5-story classroom and offices for the School of Nursing, lecture theatre and classrooms for clinical students, a bridge and walkway, as well as a senior members housing facility. Addressing the media on behalf of the Asante Akomforihene Oheneba Akwesi Abeye expressed satisfaction with the level of infrastructure development in the university.
University population is going to increase vastly, and there's no doubt that the management of this university is well prepared, is looking ahead to ensure that at the right time all new students will be properly accommodated and the requisite classrooms will be available, the equipment will be available in the science blocks, and everything that needs to be done to enhance the teaching facilities of this university will be available.
The Asante unveiled the Pa Joe statue at the university stadium before planting 2 symbolic trees at the university campus to support efforts to promote and sustain ecological diversity on the campus. He encouraged contractors working on the project to be committed for successful completion. Otumfuo called for more investment in infrastructure in public tertiary institutions to improve the quality of teaching and learning. Private legal practitioner Martin Pebu is calling for the Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu to take over the probe against GFA President Kwesi Nyantakyi, who is being investigated for defrauding by false pretense. Speaking on New Day, Martin Pebu maintains Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu is better placed to investigate the allegations against Mr. Nyantakyi instead of the police CID, whose boss he argues was tainted in the corruption probe against 2 deputy chiefs of staff.
Looking at this case, it will be better suited for the special prosecutor to deal with it. Most especially considering that in the not too distant past, when A+ matter came up, the CID boss was on tape to have, trying to show how to deal with it. I remember even Kwekubaku dealt with it on Joy FM. It didn't inspire. So there was no confidence in the manner in which she dealt with it. So for me, it's better. Mr. Amidu, any day, if you put the CID boss and Mr. Amidu here, any day, I'm sure citizens will vote that Mr. Amidu is the right person to deal with this matter, not the CID.
A few of the executive committee members will get caught up in this. There will be people in charge of referees who will be in trouble. There will be...
Michael, you sound like you've seen this thing.
I have a fair idea. But I think that there will be a few executive committee members caught in this. And ultimately, what it could mean, I think, will be a change in the direction of the leadership of the Ghana Football Association. But I think this whole thing fits in with a lot of the things that's happened in the past, and that's, I think, is the reason why ANAS will get some of the results. It basically was following a pattern of the way things work in the football industry.
Former Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Inus Afuseni says ex-President Mahamas will stage a strong comeback to recapture power from the governing NPP. Former President Mahamas gave an indication of a possible comeback in Facebook posts last week. The former Lands and Natural Resources Minister said the Akufo-Addo-led administration has set the stage for the ex-president's comeback.
Present happiness and government have demonstrated clearly that Mahamas was a saint in human body. Now we've had...
You saw the reaction.
We've had people talk about...
Saint Mahamas.
Saint Mahamas, yes. But we never elected a person who we thought would not have faults. Mahamas is human. His faults were drowned to an extent that people bought into it and pulled him off. Now, after his loss in the 2016 elections, subsequent events have proven that probably he was better.
So, question is this a formal thing, a declaration of intention to?
Well, you see why? You know why it's going to be a done deal for Mahamas?
Not that it's going to be a done deal, but he needs to declare his intention first before we even talk about whether it's a done deal or not.
I thought that,
and he's been tight-lipped so far.
He's not been tight-lipped.
He has been.
It's just released. You read something. So that said that he will not disappoint. When you say I will not disappoint you, it means that your expectation of me will be met. Clearly, that's what he means.
Sure. And we want to believe that you having a certain level of relationship with the president, then you know exactly what it is. So then I'm taking it from you that this is a declaration. If
President Mahamas doesn't run, who will run?
Leadership of a Zongo youth group in Kumasi says it will petition the Ashanti and Regional Police Command over the death of Halidu Lawak. The youth alleged that the deceased was unjustifiably killed by Operation Calm Life team at Oshim Amanfrom when he went to inspect a parcel of land he bought.
The youth say the police has, since the unfortunate incident, failed to give reason for the alleged shooting of the 26-year-old without provocation. The aggrieved youth, numbering about 60, besieged the Kumasi Central Mosque Friday morning to inform the Muslim leaders of the unfortunate incident. According to the youth, the deceased would be buried only if justice is served.
We want the justice. We want the president to know that no, justice is not working. Somebody will not be killed without showing a gun or without holding a gun, even in America.
President of the Zongo Youth Association, Seydou Kusho, pleaded for calm and urged the youth not to flout the law. He added that the leadership of the Zongo community will petition key opinion leaders in the Ashanti region and may resort to the court.
Ghana is not a lawless country. We have a law. And first, even the police, they have to respect the law.
Meanwhile, the police is yet to officially comment on the matter.
You're still watching Midday Live on TV3. We're back with some more stories after this break. Don't go away.
Hello, good afternoon. Time now for sports here on Midday Live. My name is Yao Ofotulabi. So a few days after reporting the president of the Ghana Football Association, Kwesi Nyantakyi, to the Criminal Investigations Department, President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo has issued a statement that seemed directed at those fingering him in the alleged fraud. Now the president posted on his personal Twitter handle, and this is the tweet at the moment. He says that, I think it is also worth pointing out that we should be careful about the new trend that appears to be emerging, whereby any allegation, no matter how spurious, quickly gains the character of a scandal or an act of corruption, even when it is shut down. So conclusions can be drawn from this statement, and there are those who are saying he is attempting to pull out of any allegations, while others say he is shooting down the idea that Nyantakyi is guilty of the said offences. Now this comes after an excerpt of the Aremia Anas latest expose, which was made public following the president's report to the Criminal Investigations Department. The full documentary will be premiered on the 6th of June. Well, now to some more news. And Ghana winger Christian Atsu has hit the gym to continue with his injury recovery after a successful knee operation, which saw him miss the final few games of last season. The Newcastle United forward has been out of action for over a month and says is looking forward to playing without pain next season. He has been speaking to Newcastle United Football Club Television.
I think I'm recovering faster than I expected because I've started running on the anti-gravity treadmill, and I'm putting on I'm doing weight on my knee, so I'm happy that today I ran at least with 70% of my weight, so I'm quite happy. Tomorrow I'll try and then keep pushing more, but also trying to be careful.
That's all from Christian Atsu. Let's go to the MTN FA Cup. Of course, we are in the preliminary stages of this competition, and the fixtures are out already. Vision FC will take on Liberty Professionals. Dreams FC will be at home. They will welcome Mepong Veterans to their stadium. Indiana Stars will also play the Young Apostles Football Club. 11 Wonders will take on Techiman City, and that's a derby in that game. Two teams from the same city will be playing against each other. It doesn't get any better than this in the MTN FA Cup. Also, Lekpe Heroes will also take on Wafa. That's also a regional derby in there. Wafa will be in Sogakope to welcome the Lekpe Heroes. Also there, Ashanti will play Bechem United. That's an all Premier League clash. There's Ebuswadwas who will take on Star Madrid Football Club. The Oil City will face Mediama SC. Asante Kotoko will play Bepong Storm Academy, and Accra Young Wise will also take on Accra Hearts of Oak. Now to the UEFA Champions League tonight, and Liverpool approach Saturday's Champions League final against holders Real Madrid in Kiev with a belief that they can go for the big things embedded in their DNA, and that's according to manager Jurgen Klopp. Meanwhile, Zinedine Zidane says guiding Real Madrid to victory over Liverpool on Saturday to record a historic third successive Champions League title would be a beautiful tale.
They never played us. That's another part of the truth. And we are Liverpool, and not only a really good football team. We have all as well, and this club has in its DNA that they can really go for the big things. Nobody expected us to be here, but we are here because we are Liverpool, and that's because we had the games we had in the Champions League. That's the most exceptional run to a final with the most goals and ever. I cannot believe that it's true, but it's us. But in the game, the experience doesn't help all the time. We have to make it as difficult as possible for them. What is difficult is enough for us, but that's the plan, of course. We cannot try to fight on their level. But tactics in football are there to bring a better opponent on your level.
That's Jurgen Klopp, the Liverpool manager. Tonight at 6:45 p.m. the UEFA Champions League is Liverpool taking on Real Madrid. To our final story this afternoon, and LeBron James hopes to play great once again in his bid to reach an 8th straight NBA Finals. James produced a devastating display to help the Cleveland Cavaliers level the best of 7 Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics on Friday. He scored 46 points, 11 rebounds and 9 assists in a 109-99 victory at the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland. The series is tied at 3-3, and Cleveland must win in Boston on Sunday to progress to the finals. The winner will meet the Houston Rockets or the Golden State Warriors after the Western Conference Finals ends. Right, so that's all for sports this afternoon. More sports news on News 360. Stay with us here on TV3. There's more news.
Welcome back. This is still Middaylive. Let's go on international front. And a court in Cameroon has convicted 7 activists from the country's English-speaking minority of rebellion and terrorism, handing them sentences ranging from 10 to 15 years. They include the group's leader, Mancho BBC, a radio presenter in the Anglophone Northwest region. Cameroon's English-speaking minority say they are marginalized by the country's Francophone majority. Separatists have been demanding independence. Reports say Mancho BBC's radio broadcast are associated with a radical movement in the northwestern town of Bamenda. The northwest and southwest regions are the 2 mainly English-speaking areas. On Friday, he was found guilty by a military court in the capital Yaoundé of acts of terrorism, hostility against the homeland, secession, revolution and insurrection, and jailed for 15 years. He and his co-defendants were also ordered to pay a joint fine of $464,000 plus legal fees. Cameroon was colonized by Germany and then split into British and French areas after World War I. Following a referendum, British-run southern Cameroon joined the French-speaking Republic of Cameroon in 1961, while northern Cameroon voted to join English-speaking Nigeria. One of the main groups behind a fuel strike paralyzing Brazil has told truckers to clear roads after President Temer threatened to send in the army. The Upcom Drivers Association said the threat of force was lamentable and said it feared for its members' safety. Earlier, Mr. Temer said a radical minority had rejected an agreement reached on Thursday and was holding the population hostage. Diesel prices in Brazil have nearly doubled since 2016. The strike has brought the country to a standstill with queues at petrol stations, airports running out of fuel and supermarket shelves empty. President Temer said he had authorized federal security forces to clear highways and told state governors to do the same. A minority of drivers were preventing many truckers from carrying out their wishes to serve the people and do their jobs, he added. Time now for us to do some entertainment stories. Who wins the 2016 Talented Kids? Also coming from Kumasi, Talented Kids finalists, the Nana One dancers, have also been talking tough ahead of the Talented Kids grand finale.
The Nana One dancers stand alone as the only dance group to make it to the grand finale. Week by week, the duo showed amazing dance moves and breathtaking showmanship. The pupils of the Adonai Angels Academy have been tipped by many to put a surprise at the grand finale.
Your performance was so expressive. Without the music, I could even understand what you were doing. And I think that you are very talented.
Their daring exploits are well appreciated by their followers back in Kumasi.
school.
Osei Gideon is the trainer of Nana One Dance Group.
I'm happy we are part of the top 8 champions. It's not easy, but we thank God we have made it.
The group, which comprises of Eric Mreku Boateng and Prince Kusi, looks forward to causing major upset at the final show.
Still on Talented Kids, 6-member group and season 9 finalists Okodia Band from Kumasi are optimistic of winning the ultimate prize.
Versatile group Okodia Band broke their neck to book a ticket to the Talented Kids grand finale. Journeying from Kumasi to Accra on a weekly basis proved hectic, but making the final shortlist fills the group of 6 with great pride. Comprising gifted instrumentalist and amazing vocalist, the band from Kumasi owe their success to hard work and constant practice.
Because of how we rehearsed and through hard work, creativity, and by listening to the advice of the judges, and that's why we've made it to the finals.
Back in Kumasi, their consistency and confidence on the stage has earned them many admirers.
When he qualified and it was announced on TV that Okodia Band are representing the Ashanti Region Talented Kids Grand Final, what did people tell you?
They thanked us for what we've done for the school and they bought us gifts. They are telling us that we are doing massive and marvelous performances and so we should keep on rehearsing so that we can win this competition.
When we say Okodia Band, what do you say?
Music is our pride.
The Okodia Band is optimistic of victory and hope to make their fans proud come May 27.
And we know that we are taking the trophy to Osei Chrome in Kumasi.
Let's now look at how Media General's cartoonist Tilapia captured the major happenings of this week. That's it for Midday Live on TV3. Many thanks for joining us. My name is Grace Hamwasari. Good afternoon.